Okay, part 2 here. So I hope everybody's doing good today. Things aren't going so good in the world, but they're going as good as, it's what you make it. I'm doing what I can to be a good person, I have to take time to bring these lessons to you instead of going and working out, but I'll be getting there this afternoon. So I guess we did talk about this, but this little addition I made to the chart post-lesson, and that is, as you know, we take the one string shape, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root. Now, this would be the pentatonic, but I added in the diatonics here because we're going to be talking about essentially 7 notes, but when we go to the 4th, we're going to be omitting its 7th, its 4th actually. We're going to be omitting the 4th of the 4th, which is the 7th of the root. Okay, that might be wrong. Let's look at the 5th. 5th, we're going to definitely be omitting the 7th of the 5th because it's not in scale. Okay, with the 4th, we're going to be adding that 7th in. Remember, this is where we start on the 4. These don't line up. Notice this is root lines up with 4, lines up with 5, so they're not lined up. Okay, I think I have a problem here. We go 4, 5, 6. This is in root language. So the 4th of the 4th is missing, so there's no 4th there. Usually the chart is right, Andy isn't. I'm kind of like in I have to get back into the frame of mind that I was making these charts. What did I mean when I wrote this and that? So it's really a hex scale. Now, apologies to anyone who has an idea that a hex scale is a certain number. For instance, if we have a pentatonic scale, we have root 2, 3, 5, 6, right? So you could do that in the E form. Root 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2. But if I told you a hex scale was going to be root 2, 3, 4, 6, a pentatonic rather, root 2, 3, 4, 6, it's still a pentatonic scale, but not in the traditional sense. So I'm using the word hex scale not in the traditional sense. This is a custom hex scale. It may very well be in compliance with the official definition of a hex scale. I don't know, but that's what we're going to be covering today a little bit, and how to go about not playing the 4th when you're doing the 4th. So in other words, if we're doing blues, we got starting on C7 down here and go root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root. Okay, not a blues, but a 1, 4, 5. Okay, now when I go to the 4th, we don't want to play the 4th of the 4th. We don't want to go like this. We don't want to play that B flat tradition. If we're going to play that Locrian 4th, we're going to leave that out. There's 2 ways. One is to follow the Locrian scale. Okay, it's a weird scale. How do we go about that? Well, there's 2 ways. One is just play the diatonic scale of the C starting from the F. But what if we want to do a substitution? We don't want to do that. We want to give this its own root. We want to start root here. We don't want to start 4 here. Okay, and that would be play this scale without its 4th. Root 2, 3, blank, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Let's try that again. Root 2, 3, blank, 5, 6, 7, root. Root 2, 3, blank, 5, 6, 7, root. I had to think about that for a second. And then similarly with the fifth, now a 6-note scale is going to be without its seventh. Here it is with its seventh. With its seventh, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's the F sharp in the key G. Okay, but we don't want to play it because it's not. So I played an F natural there to stay in the C scale. Now, how do we go about, who wants to leave out a note? So there's another way of looking at it, and we'll get to that in the next chart, and that is adding a note instead of looking at a hex scale as don't play the fourth or the seventh. We can add the fourth or the seventh. No, excuse me, not add the fourth or the seventh. We can add a note. The fourth or the seventh would be like this. So we add the seventh to the fourth. We add the fourth of the fifth. We add the fourth of the fifth to the fifth. Okay, we add the fourth of the fifth to the fifth. We add the seventh of the fourth to the fourth. So they're kind of swip-swap notes, you know. The Locrian fourth. Stop me anywhere. Okay, so I think we've covered this chart. I hope we did before. Again, what's up here is just what was written here, but I checked, valued it over here. Okay, and again, we have considerations to where that blues note is going to be put in a string shape. The reason why I started on 2, I realized, remember from last lesson, is because that was the blues magic key. The blues magic key is the fourth of the fourth. So C, the blues magic key is the fourth. It's fourth. The key of B flat, which makes C the second. So we'd go 2, 3, 4, like that, 2, 3, 4. But we would actually have to play it up here with the short patterns because they're going to go to the left, which goes against the fret nut. Can't do that from down here. I don't want to move the screen over. So we got 2, 3, 2, 3 flat. Because remember, this is 3 flat of the B flat magic scale. That's why the 2 string shape is sitting down there as opposed to up here. That's all that was. So we go. Notice the blues note isn't between the 5 and the 6 where it should be. You would think it would be like this, like this, but in the key of B flat, its blues note is between its 5 and 6. So that's why I put the blues note there. So the blues note that's between the 4 and the 5 in B flat, okay, is actually between the 3 and the 4 in the Dorian. It's the other way. So that's why I had the 2 on the bottom. So I guess it didn't sound so good, but it's always good to just do the magic key first, because it gives you 2 of the blues notes. In the key of B flat, it gives you the flat 3 of the root and the flat 7 of the root. Okay, but it doesn't give you the flat 5th of the root, but that's the flat 6 of the magic key. So okay, so don't want to get into that again. We played, or you tried to play some of that last time. We really should move along. So what I was just saying was, it could be summarized here. I'm just realizing, folks, that we did cover this chart in the last lesson, but we didn't cover the hex scales.